that changes are coming. Say a prayer that hope is around the bend. And if you pray that changes are coming, oh Jesus, may what you pray come true. Amen. Say a prayer that changes are coming. Say a prayer that hope is around the bend. And if you pray that changes are coming, oh Jesus, may what you pray, may what you pray,
And how about one more round of applause for our William Penn Senior High School? Incredible job. Good evening, all. Thank you very much. It is a great pleasure to be here with you and welcome all of you back to the Valencia. Round of applause for that. Our hats are off to our wonderful hosts this evening, and we are all so grateful to have this institution back serving our community in downtown York. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Mayor Kim Bracey's annual State of the City address. This is absolutely one of my most favorite events of the year, not because Henry Nixon is here, and that's the only joke I will use tonight, Henry. But this is absolutely one of my most favorite events of the year, as I'm sure it is for most in attendance. And it's not simply for the ever positive, ever optimistic outlook and charm of our mayor, but tonight is but one night. There are 364 nights throughout the remainder of this year where we all get back to work. Tonight is the one night where we come together and celebrate in our community's successes. It's also always important to reflect back on where we have been to understand where we're going. Hundreds of millions of dollars have been invested in our city in just over a decade. New restaurants dot our downtown, new businesses, shop owners, storefronts, a new energy and sense of entrepreneurialism and optimism. New residences bring new opportunity to connect new people to our city. Investment in our neighborhoods strengthens and stabilizes our city and reinforces pride in ownership and pride in place. So why do we do all of this, folks? Our mayor knows that we're here and we support her. You're the proverbial choir that we're all preaching to. But ultimately, our city is positioned well for success. And we need our city to be successful if our county can achieve its full potential. In 2017, York and cities similar to York across our Commonwealth are attracting new investment, new businesses, new opportunity. and we need only to continue our course, continue to open our community's doors to diverse people, diverse interests, and strengthen our partnerships and collaboration, and perhaps most importantly, celebrate our community's success. For not one week goes by that there are not positive success stories, small wins, huge gains, and significant strides forward. The York County Economic Alliance, this is the shameless commercial component of this, stands ready and willing to support all of these efforts in our city and more. Our city is a magnet for creatives, for diversity, and for excitement. It is the economic engine of our county and a center for commerce, recreation, tourism, and talent. Be it redeveloping the Yorktown Hotel or strengthening the pipeline for employment to area industry, or helping businesses open their doors and be successful, our Alliance's efforts are most certainly viewed through the lens of what will further strengthen and make for a more sustainable city. Today is but one day, with 364 others in a year in the life of our city. Today is most certainly a good day. There will undoubtedly be more to follow. So thank you to our City of York. Thank you to its workforce. Thank you to our fellow sponsors this evening, the York County Community Foundation, Memorial Hospital, and C.S. Davidson. Thank you to our mayor for bringing all of us together this day to celebrate the accomplishments of our city, past, present, and most certainly its future. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise if you are able, as the colors of the United States will be presented by the 1st Capital Marine Corps League Color Guard. And following the presentation of the colors, the national anthem will be sung by York's own Danica Shirey.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. But first, how about a round of applause for York's own, Danica Shirey. You absolutely kill it every time. Thank you so much. We're so lucky, York. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming York City's Poet Laureate Emeritus, Miss Carla Christopher.
I had prepared Shakespearean English for you tonight, but I figured we're just real folks having real talk, right? We who with trouble on each side are not crushed. Oh, you're so quiet. I'm sorry, are you crushed? Are you crushed when there's trouble? When we have hard times in our city, are you done? You give up and walk away? Is that who's here with me tonight? No. Okay, I was just checking. We who with trouble on each side are not crushed. We who at times are perplexed are never drawn into despair. We who are persecuted know that we are not abandoned. We who are knocked down are never, ever destroyed. We carry life in these bodies, topped by twist and curl, wave or flowing fall. We carry life in these strong and muscled frames, wrapped in shirt and sheath or coat and shawl, even weary tonight, after well-thought word and hard-worked deed. Go home. Sleep the rest of those who, even when they are struggling, are free. Dream the dreams of endless possibility, because you are in good hands. Feel that good York water chase through your veins like fire-burning lava, forcing you to move like the drum beats in Ghana. Be still if you wanna, but you in good hands, you have the chance to go farther. Don't waste it. This is your time. Do you hear me? Chase it. Those were the chimes of our hour, the hour of power, the hour of fire. It's York o'clock. Check your watch. Do you know what our York is cooking? Whew, I'm tired, but I'm in good hands. So I can retire and leave this proud history to flower into the garden of destiny, called into becoming this very rain-soaked spring. Tonight, we hear plans for tomorrow's history in the making. Don't worry, we are in good hands. Let us tend to our children, as is our duty. And then let us let them do their thing. Because tonight, for the past 4 years, for the past 8 years, for the next 4 years, York, Pennsylvania, we are in good hands.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Carla Christopher. Friends, Mayor C. Kim Bracey was born and raised in York. She proudly wears her blue and orange as a Bearcat alum. She served in the United States Air Force for over a decade, earning the National Defense Service Medal and Air Force Good Conduct Medal. She'll also be the first to tell Police Chief Cayley that the Air Force is a little bit better than the Marines. She's committed to serving her community. She managed Youth Build AmeriCorps program at Crispus Attucks and later became the executive director of the South George Street Community Partnership. Her success and dedication to this community led her to an appointment by Mayor John Brenner as director of the Department of Community Development prior to its merger with the Economic Development Department, which apparently there's some great talent that comes out of there, right, Shavosky? In a historic election, she became the first African-American mayor of the city of York and was sworn in as the 24th mayor of our great city on January 4th, 2010. Serving in her second term, she is responsible for all aspects of general management of a city budget of over $100 million and is truly our city's greatest advocate. Mayor Bracey is also a Capricorn. Her guilty pleasure is watching Scandal. She enjoys shoes from Tory Burch, Bearcat basketball, all of the Batman movies. She prefers Christian Bale over Michael Keaton. She may never let me introduce her again. But you'll often see our mayor cheering on our Bearcats, be it at basketball, Little League, racing against racism with the YWCA, taking 10 on Tuesdays to clean up our parks, St. Patty's Day parading, or reading to our little ones at Head Start, of which she's an alum. She has led our York to be recognized nationally through her involvement with the United States Conference of Mayors and the National League of Cities. She recently served on our very own Governor Tom Wolf's transition team as co-chair, and she is the first vice president for the Pennsylvania Municipal League. She's also a diehard Eagles fan, as everyone in this room should be. She is strongly considering a tattoo that says revolution. I made that last part up. But probably her greatest honor is being called mother and a proud nana. I have never met someone more dedicated to her city and more caring about the concern of her neighbors. Her civic spirit extends far beyond the walls of our city hall, all the way to the Twittersphere, so please drop her a mention or retweet her at Mayor Bracey. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming my hashtag BFF friend, Mayor Kim Bracey.
Good evening. Thank you all very, very much. Lots of good talent here. Where's Danica? Thank you. Thank you. The voice, that's my girl. Thank you. Memphis cast, you all were wonderful. Our poet laureate emeritus. Wow, okay. And of course, my dear friend Kevin. Thank you. I'll just leave it there. Thank you. I believe we had some Marines here as well, too. Thank you for your service and for honoring us this evening. Governor Wolf, Congressman Perry, members of the General Assembly, county commissioners, city council members, our family of city employees, my family, friends, welcome. During the past presidential election season at the end of 2016, harsh divisions, distrust, vitriol, and uncertainty ruled the land. Then as a new year dawned, a new promise was born. Yes, everything changed. In this very Valencia ballroom, York's homegrown platinum-selling band Live after years being estranged, finally reunited. Our native favorite sons reunited and played to a packed house to ring in the new year. Yes, balance and harmony finally were restored to the forest and to our York. If the band live could reunite, we knew that reconciliation between any warring parties were possible. We knew that anything would be possible, and we were reminded once again that yes, we are one York, indivisible and invincible for all. It was as if a Jedi nightlight years from the future whispered in our ears, "May one York be with you. May one future York swim in your restless, unrelenting souls." In that spirit, tonight, we envision daring promises of the future. Yes, I could talk about the state of the city past, but tonight I refuse to deliver the State of the City address. Instead, this is your State of our Future City of York address. All right, y'all can't do that all night, okay? We could talk about how concentrating on community policing in all neighborhoods have consistently decreased our crime. We could talk about how each year we continue to surpass our 7-year goal of pushing Part 1 crimes, the most serious crimes recorded by the FBI, below 2,000 a year. We could talk about how during the last 7.5 years, Part 1 crimes have decreased by 30%. Now you can clap. Friends, that's a stone cold fact, and one that should warm your hearts. We can brag that 2016 marks the 4th straight year in which Part 1 crimes were below 2,000. And we could tout that as of 2016, thanks to WellSpan Health, all city police officers have body cameras, a first for York County. Universal body cameras are good for our officers, our people, and everyone because they record accurate evidence and encourage all of us to be on our best behavior. We can celebrate our officers engaging citizens at neighborhood association meetings, playing video games with our youngsters at Morton Library, sponsoring bowling outings at Colony Park bowling lanes, and playing hoops with our kids at part of Shoot for Peace at Vonnie Grimes Gym and William Penn Senior High School. But let's talk about public safety for the future. As we gaze into the future, we know that a York Rescue and Fire Services Department and a police department that reflect the demographics of the most diverse municipality in the region is important for forging a safer, more trusting future. Therefore, tonight, we announce our Like Us push. And no, that's not a shameless request to like our city Facebook page. I'm really tired of Facebook. But you should rather, this is an historic recruitment campaign aimed at making 25% of our public safety employees racial and ethnic minorities by 2030. We will make a stronger effort to recruit our own homegrown talent by reaching out to all of our middle school and high school students and post-secondary institutions and spreading the gospel that a career in public safety is honorable and rewarding. Therefore, to forge a better future using federal community development block grant dollars and our regional workforce investment board resources, we launched Legacy Builders Summit, Summer Youth Employment Program, to employ city young people while exposing them to honorable careers in public service and other careers in our city government. Recently, our gun violence intervention held its first call-in with chronic criminals offenders in our city church, in a city church. They were forced to participate lest they be found in violation of their parole. But we're tired of the gun violence. We have to curb gun violence. One of the great civil rights and public health challenges of our time. My message to the attendees was simple. We want you out of prison. We want you safe and alive. We want a new life for you, and we will not tolerate gun crimes. We also said that we will work with them to find counseling, employment, or other services to help them get their lives on track. If they take one step towards us, we'll take more than one step towards them. We are providing them with a second or third chances in some cases, giving our community a new lease on peace for all. Thank you. For over a year, my brother's keeper has worked to eliminate the opportunity gap and challenges facing our youth, to ensure that as many of our greatest resources, our people, are positioned to succeed. For 6 years, our 100 Men Reading Program has paired at least 100 local men with York City students so that literacy is manly and desirable. This is just a small sampling of creative, homegrown efforts of peace, safety, and encouragement. Chiefs Kelly and Michael, you are consummate professionals who keep your noses to the grindstone every day. Please rise so you know that how much I appreciate you guys and your leadership and everyone else. Thank you. From the avenues to Fireside, from Salem Square to Royal Square, from Springdale to the East End United Way, we have engaged citizens through our city halls for a day. And we've learned from you, our people, York's greatest resource. We handed out free dental kits, energy efficient light bulbs, and smoke detectors while doing what we are called to do: listen to and serve our people with dignity, respect, and zeal. From potholes to sign repairs, thank you, Jim, to traffic calming, we have listened and we have acted. We strive to do the little things right while pushing forward a bold, transformative vision to revitalize our neighborhoods and keep our city clean. None of our best work is meaningful or possible without you, our concerned citizens. And none of our best work is meaningful or possible without our city workforce of over 300 that are in it for the long haul. For all of us, our citizens. For nearly 8 years, we have given you a capable, stable, ethical, inclusive, seasoned, and forward-thinking city government because you deserve it. All city employees, volunteers of city boards, authorities, and commissions, if you would please rise so we can show you our appreciation. I sincerely appreciate all of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, I can start picking them out. Thank you all. Healthy human relations and workforce and neighborhoods is essential to public safety and to the pursuit of opportunity and happiness for all. Therefore, our city employees, we extended benefits to domestic partners and added contraceptives to our health plans, both historic firsts. We continue to build and honor a diverse workforce that reflects the people whom we serve. Therefore, I recruited CASA, Spanish for home, to open an office in our city hall. I signed our Safe Haven executive order to let our new American community know that our York is welcoming and that we do not profile any of our people for selective citations or arrests. Almost, in case you didn't know, almost 30% of our population is Hispanic or Latino. We engage and integrate all of our law-abiding newly American citizens who are already here through job placement, English literacy training, and educational and legal services so that they can be good citizens in neighborhoods. We are all one York with liberty and justice for all. Our York is proud to have one of the first and most progressive, if you will, human rights ordinance in the state. To forge our future, partnering with West York Borough, I'm proud to announce that our Human Relations Commission will share space at the centrally located West York Borough building on West Poplar Street in West York Borough. West York Mayor Sean Malk and all those involved in this partnership, West York Borough Council members, Human Relations Commissioners, staff, and York City Council members, please rise so we can honor you for working for equality, justice, and opportunity for everyone. This sensible partnership is a testament to the needs of awareness, understanding, and empathy, transcending municipal boundaries, an example of smart, multi-municipal collaboration and cost sharing. We are all the White Rose City, but not all of our flowers are white. May thousands of flowers radiate in perennial freedom and dignity. Black, brown, orange, yellow, gay, straight, and white. We all shine when we unite in freedom's light. My friend, this summer, to honor one of York's greatest flowers, the late, great Louis J. Appel Jr., our beloved baseball stadium will feature a throng of white roses gleaming right where Mr. Appel's work and vision would be, in the center of things, and at a home run distance in the center field picnic area. Because of pioneers like Mr. Appel and Governor Wolf, both of whom made professional baseball in York possible, we strive to build neighborhoods and districts of inclusiveness, dignity, and pride for everyone. Mr. Appel, we love you. We miss you already, and we will never forget you and your legacies and progress. And friends, I believe as long as I love Yorkers like you, never quit, never relent, never surrender, Mr. Appel never died. He simply multiplied into more influential force than ever imagined. So, looking closely at our ledger books, we could talk about the state of the city past. We could talk about how we held the line on property taxes in 2013, 14, and 15. And lower taxes by 1% in 2016 and 2% in 2017. Yes, that is 2 years in a row of an approved budget with real estate tax reductions and a strategic plan to continue those reductions further to 15%. Now, you can clap for that. We have these nifty new guides that you can find a lot of that information in too. So please take a look at that later tonight. We could also talk about how City Solicitor Jason Sable won a state Supreme Court case establishing that deregulated public utilities have to pay business privilege taxes, helping to ensure that everyone is paying their fair share. We could talk about how 37% of the value of the city real estate is tax exempt. But we continue to work with our gracious nonprofit and tax-exempt entities and institutions to make up part of the difference with fair share contributions year in and year out. But let's talk about our future fiscal city. Led by our highly accomplished and capable business administrator, Michael Dowry, we have realized real cost savings. I know some of the veterans around my table were a little skeptical, my cabinet, and they started seeing real drops, real savings. And as heralded by Auditor General D. Pasquale, who noted that York is at a cutting edge of managing its pension obligations, we have worked, led by Michael, with our unions to rein in pension costs for the long term. And friends, our long-term vision, 2020, is on its way, reducing property taxes again by 15% by 2020. Thank you very much, sir. And friends, I know our people want to live in an aspirational community, a community that has a city-wide vision and that is not content to rest on its laurels. So let's dream big and fight hard to forge a better future, York. So I have 9 new things, like we started out with, 9 for our neighborhood. First, universal pre-K. The cost of action is less than the long-term cost of inaction, and we cannot criminalize or incarcerate our way out of challenges, but we can educate, enlighten, and ennoble our way to success. I'm a proud product of Community Progress Council's Head Start program. I finally recall attending preschool with Mrs. Karen Brown at Zion United Church of Christ, right across from Penn Park. My Head Start experience is not unique, though. It's been shared by tens of thousands of preschoolers since the 1960s throughout York County. This vital program encourages preschoolers, their intellectual and physical and emotional growth, and prepares them to enter school as learners. Free pre-K currently is available to 50% of York City school districts' 3 and 4-year-olds, but our goal is 100%. Whether the funding is from the federal government, the state, or philanthropic, or all of the above, we must deliver quality pre-K for everyone. We know that Head Start works. We also know what doesn't work. I've heard the faint and not so faint, if you will, dog whistles. I've heard the subtle and not so subtle scapegoating by some who cynically use the city, its poverty, and its children as political pawns or punching bags. I've heard a subtle objectifying and degrading phrases like "that city." Phrases like, "you know how they are." Phrases like, "if only the city." Well, friends, this city is our city. These young people are our young people. Those people are you and me. And they are our greatest hope for building a great county seat with liberty, justice, and opportunity for all. Two, we will replace food deserts throughout our city with food oases. York County is known as a snack capital or snack food capital of the world. But many of our urban residents do not have easy access to basic nutrition. No city resident should have to walk more than a quarter mile to purchase fresh foods and vegetables and other healthy foods. To combat that, our Healthy Corner Store initiative has given micro grants to neighborhood corner stores, including Lee's Food Market on North Pershing, Pack's Food Market on East Princess, Penn's Farmers Market on West Market, and Green's Food Market on South George Street to replace those processed foods with healthier, wholesome foods. We continue to reach out to more neighborhood stores to bring fresh foods into our community and onto our plates. A shout out to York Fresh Food Farms for starting its first micro farm in our city, right by the Parkway neighborhood, and giving away over 2 tons of fresh produce to folks in need. Thank you, Shavosky Buffalo and Craig Walk from our team and Civic Imagineers for bringing corner stores initiatives right here to the city of York. It's a garden of goodness that people can find at a block near them, right? Thank you very much. Third, Salem Square and Old Town East. 2 Elm Street neighborhoods. That's right. Tonight, I'm proud to re-announce that the Commonwealth has designated Salem Square as York's second Elm Street neighborhood. Your city government and the Salem Square Community Association worked hard for this designation, which will fast-track access to grants to improve the quality of life through better housing, streetscaping, and recreation. Salem Square to the west complements our state and city's first Elm Street neighborhood, Old Town East to our east. And speaking of Old Town East, tonight I formally endorse the $2.5 million plans to convert a long shutter, 35,000 square foot former tobacco warehouse on Poplar Street to grow and process medical marijuana. This is an ideal spot for reinventing old industrial York for the 21st century, with families sustaining jobs while helping people in need and strengthening our tax base. So we envision downtown and her inner ring neighborhoods, Old Town East, Salem Square, and a host of others, cross-fertilizing each other with safe, well-lit paths to walk and bike and jobs that pay, schools that teach, resource centers that engage, and neighbors who nurture. As go our neighborhoods, so does our downtown, and vice versa. We are a part of a symbiotic whole where everything affects everything else. In Salem Square with our visionary friend, Robert Lambert, president of the York County Library System, we just opened Morton Library at Salem Square, which provides a police resource center, after-school tutoring and programming, a satellite Morton Library, literacy training, and a high-tech hub. Morton at Salem employs local teens in need of work experience, and offers free online job search access for our adults. Morton at Salem is a win-win for families, youth, places of worship, and all of those residents in the west end of the city. Together, we're all in it for the long haul, and we're in it to win it. Fourth, speaking of win-win situations, tonight we pledge to launch an innovative, collaborative concept called WINS to ramp up our community resource centers for the 21st century. WINS stands for We Inspire Neighborhoods. It's sponsored by WellSpan Health in the neighborhood. Each WINS will house a police satellite office while bringing holistic health, safety, literacy, nutrition, and job search resources and training directly to our people. Spirit, mind, and body interconnect and feed off each other, just as neighborhood relations, infrastructure, public safety, and pride interconnect and feed off each other. Therefore, to forge our future, I'm proud to announce that our friends at WellSpan Health have pledged $250,000 over the next 3 years to support Morton at Salem Square and to open up at least a second win in city neighborhoods coming to you soon. Thank you, WellSpan Health. Fifth, aggressive new tools to fight nuisance and blight. Tonight, to forge our future, we are proud to announce that 3 more codes enforcement officials and new GPS system will allow us to nip nuisances in the bud in real time before they fester into blight. To beef up our, indeed, yes. I still ask everyone to take 10 on Tuesdays, though. We got an urban community here. We need to pick up trash when we see it. To beef up our Zero Tolerance for Blight initiative, I call upon our county commissioners and York County Economic Alliance to create a county-wide land bank authority to target and redevelop abandoned eyesores and properties throughout the county. This county-wide effort will eliminate nuisance properties that have served as havens for arson and illegal activity and transform blight into assets, and real estate value will be improved. And 6, we will design and empower our inner ring neighborhoods. We could talk about downtown development and the over $146 million in new development over the last 8 years, including $40 million in our neighborhoods. That has accrued during this administration. We could also talk about the $20 million Yorktown Hotel project and a $10 million state grant under the leadership of the wise Jack Kay and Kevin Schreiber of the York County Economic Alliance, who will make the Yorktown a polished jewel renovated for the 21st century. Our hats go off to York College hospitality students for energizing the Yorktown as a learning experience, and our developers that will make the project as local as possible. And we could mention the over 9,000 college students studying in our city and how our York gradually is becoming a college town in the very best sense of the words. To that end, thank you to the College Town Takeover Committee that brings students from our 3 post-secondary schools into our city. Thank you. Hack York, Penn State York, and York College, you have a standing invitation to continue putting up stakes in our city. We have the space, the amenities, and the momentum, and we welcome youthful vitality. We are all Bearcats, Nittany Lions, Spartans, and Hawks. And yes, York Generals professional football team founder, Javon Matthews, we are all York Generals too. And of course, we are all revolutionaries. Friends, we could also share the good news that 623 new residential units have been completed or underway during our administration. That means a critical mass of new residents living, walking, working, recreating, and spending their dollars in our city. We could also talk about our central market and how more vendors than ever are there. We could also talk about how the first block of West Market Street features, among other ribbon cuttings, a bright new housing, Holy Hound, a brand new Isaac's, and a soon-to-open Crystal Ball Brewery. And since we are meeting here on North George Street, the heart of gorgeous George, we could tout new restaurants like the Handsome Cab, Rockfish Public House, Revival, new art galleries, and mention old favorites like Two Tonys in the Left Bank and the Revs 11th season. We could boast of the best of the Broadway playing and the soon-to-be Kristen Appel Performing Arts Center. We're competing with rent tonight, folks. We could also talk about the esteemed Valencia Ballroom, where we meet tonight. Just think about it. If only these walls could talk or maybe sing, they would croon about crowds here enjoying jazz and the big band era, to Sinatra and doo-wop, to rock, pop, funk, and our loud future. How about that? In the ambitious hands of the Kensleys and Tom Seibel and Jeremiah Anderson, I have a hunch that the Valencia will be the maitre d' of gorgeous George, York's red carpet entertainment district. Thank you all. But to forge our future, let's talk about our Northeast neighborhood. In our Northeast, thanks to Think Loud, we will transform Poor House Run into a gigabyte bandwidth stream that blitzes throughout the East Coast from New York City to DC. After $20 million of work, this 50,000 square feet high nerve center will add 150 jobs and cut Grammy caliber records in the state-of-the-art Think Loud studios. And for the record, your city administration was the first to endorse these hometown boys and their promise of high speed. Look forward to an exciting announcement from Think Loud next week, by the way. And But long before Think Loud planted roots there, a neighborhood champion, Crystal Sexton McEachin, was serving and strengthening this neighborhood, block by block and soul by soul. We lost Crystal earlier this month. Her legacy lives on so that we may continue to see the improvements happening in this neighborhood. And as long as we are improving this neighborhood and practicing the golden rule of goodness for all, her legacy will be in all of us. Just past there, farther east, we will connect North Broad and surroundings into clean, green, livable spaces, walkable to downtown. Developers are tuning up the 40,000 square foot Weaver organ and piano building as we speak into loft-style flats with indoor parking. Stay tuned for developments on this and the rebirth of the nearby Danskin site on State Street, creating a vibrant new neighborhood off Philadelphia Street between Broad and State. Philly Village, I like to call it, so we'll see how that sticks, Shavosky. And to our southeast, the Imperial March of Royal Square, flanked by Princess, Duke, King, and Queen Streets, goes on. Thank you all so very much for all the work you do. We could talk about the Royal Square team recruiting the old cobblestones to join us round the table of shining knights. Dozens of creatively reused concentrated parcels. Focus on the visual, culinary, and performing arts, vintage clothing and accessories, and bohemian vitality, like the Bond Industrial Event Space, Collusion Tap Works, Parliament Arts, Redo, and Prime Art Supply. Seventh, the next big public-private partnership. As the Northwest Triangle draws to a close with the opening of the Keystone Color Works and the groundbreaking of the York History Center, what's the next big thing? We must keep this momentum going. So tonight, we announce that we will organize discussion groups of our best, brightest, and vested about the Viney Grimes Gym, the parking lot known as parking lot number 11, and neighborhoods between Newton and College Avenue to design the most desirable results for parcels that we've only been able to stitch together over the years. We want to thank our State Department of Community Economic Development Secretary Davin for recently joining us to celebrate a $1 million public-private structural restoration and facelift of our cherished Viney Grimes Gym, a neighborhood anchor for generations. Our goal is to make sure that this district, the Duke of York, will complement existing friends, such as Guerreri's Garage and the Salvation Army, to name a few, while delivering decent jobs, design creativity, and dignity to connect Old Town East, Royal Square, and downtown neighborhoods. Eighth, our citywide park conservancy. Last year, we promised that we would kick off efforts to have an urban park conservancy to seed our beautiful parks now and well into the future. Promises made and promises kept. President County Commissioner Susan Burns, City Councilwoman Sandy Walker, and I took a road trip. And we took the advice of our York native son and Arizona Cardinals head coach, Bruce Arians, who is fond of saying, if you know it, join me, no risk it, no biscuit. We took a flight to Arizona to ask Coach Arians to take our concept over the goal line. And tonight, we announced the launch of York's first ever Parks Conservancy. In the coming weeks, we will present to the York's Capital Campaign Committee in hopes of securing further contributions from York's fundraising community. In the meantime, Commissioner Burns, my dear friend, Councilwoman Walker, my sister, and our incredible Public Works Director, Jim Gross, please stand so we can honor you and your commitment for this cause and everything that you've done to bring it this far. This really is a big deal, folks. Our parks cost a lot of money to maintain, and having an endowment that Jim has wanted since forever is going to really keep those parks in perpetuity well beyond most of us. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Ninth, my ninth one. A Cadorus flowing with economic and social justice for all. Yes, I said a Cadorus. We could talk about how our Cadorus at Riverbend and the graceful reconstruction of the Heritage Rail Trail from Grantley Street to Lafayette Plaza has happened. We could boast of the first ever Cadorus Corridor Green Action Plan, which meets federal waterway regulations while also nurturing an ecosystem that attracts wildlife and people. Friends, walk along the Cadorus and see the fish, the turtles and egrets, all signs of rebounding water system. But as our Green Action Plan calls for, we know we can do more. We will extend the York County Rail Trail to complete the connection from John Rudy Park to the Maryland line. We will replace drab, rocky banks with a state-of-the-art material that protects the flood wall integrity while beautifying and coloring our banks. And to forge our future, let's make our Cadorus a welcoming, irresistible magnet for bikers, hikers, and heritage and recreation enthusiasts, as well as the job catalysts. We are confident that the York History Center will soon receive a big state grant to open its doors in the Northwest Triangle. And to complement these efforts, tonight I'm proud to announce that after painstaking and never say die efforts, we also will have large chocolate brown historic signs along Interstate 83 directing motorists to historic downtown York as well. But we must dream bigger and do even more than that. And I urge that the History Center becomes a world-class creation of the Nation Museum. I've said that before. And as we gaze into the future, let's explore Leader Wolf Graduate School in Public Governance to honor York County's two governors, George Leader and Tom Wolf. Let's explore making Stephen Avenue, which overlooks our Cadorus, the Thaddeus Stevens Promenade, in honor of the great commoner and civil rights icon who began his career right here in York on North Beaver Street. Imagine a strand replete with cobblestone streets and painted lady houses that brighten and beacon. As we ponder York's 300th anniversary in 2041, let us make no small plans. As Nelson Mandela said, it all seems impossible until it happens. So let's design and demand more, insisting that our Heritage Rail Trail connects to the Grand History Trail, linking York to the hallowed grounds of the Gettysburg in Washington, D.C. A river runs through all of us, and our Cadorus runs through some of the most impoverished neighborhoods in our county. Let's make our Cadorus an aspirational artery from Dennis Supply, Sorona to the southwest, to the Pennsylvania Armory Building, future home of Kids Space, to Think Loud and Route 30 to the northeast. Our Cadorus represents our best test for justice and our best quest for replacing poverty with opportunity for all. Exploring an aggressive performance-based tax abatement program for green certified riverbank development, let's quest for riverbanks that flood with decent jobs, housing, and facades that face green and embrace our Cadorus from ravine to shiny ravine. Make no small plans. Let's run with the rapids and model our Cadorus after great examples, the Reedy River in Greenville, South Carolina, and people-friendly river walks and parks in Providence, Rhode Island, Oklahoma City, and Columbus, Georgia. Let's explore our Cadorus as a family-friendly park with water adventures even, kayaks, rock climbing, zip lining, waterfalls, splash zones, public art at parks, and recreational attractions. Imagine a boathouse, kayak, and riverboat condominium, and Marine Biology Learning Center apprenticing City York kids. Taking a cue from Yorker and veteran Harold Redding, whose determination led to the federal designation of March 29th as National Vietnam War Veterans Day, let's create on the banks of the Cadorus in honor to all that have served, from our nation's founding fathers, a fragile first constitution here in Yorktown, through our service men and women serving in 2 world wars, to the fight against terrorism today. Friend, I'm just a little girl from Penn Street who remembers the national tanks rumbling through my neighborhood 50 years ago. That little Head Start girl grew up to graduate from William Penn Senior High School, to honorably serve her country in the United States Air Force, and to come back home to serve her neighborhoods and her neighbors in our York. That girl grew up to see our York grow up from a provincial burg to an economic powerhouse, a multicultural mosaic, and a beacon of light throughout Pennsylvania and beyond. My friends, more than ever, I'm honored and privileged to carry the torch of our great York. And rest assured, the torch fire within me to serve you and all people burns brighter, bolder, and fiercer than ever. Thank you. Thank you. Friends, I ask that you join me and support these efforts. Our dreams to achieve the great civil rights goal of the 21st century never dissipates, never dims, and never dies. We need to be able to end senseless gun violence. We need to have pre-K for all, quality education for everyone, access to fresh, nutritious food for all, a clean and green Cadorus and air quality for all, destroy the cycle of poverty, and destroy zip code injustice. Please join me in our marathon quest. Please join me in our marathon quest for a greater, brighter York where a river of economic and social justice runs through all of us. A York that burns with liberty, justice, opportunity, and prosperity for all. Make no small plans, my friends, and always, always run with the rapids. May one York be with you. May our future York swim in your restless, unrelenting souls. Thank you so very much for being here with us this evening. Thank you all. Thank you very, very much. Challenged by a little sound issues here, but I try. So some of you that have attended these events with us know on Thursday night, I'm usually pressed for time because Scandal comes on at 9, but it's Tuesday, so we can be here for a little while, but we won't be. It gives me great pleasure every year to be able to present the Mayor's White Rose Hall of Fame Awards. I want to congratulate all the awardees earlier this evening as well, too. Your work has been honored by so many people, members of my cabinet, volunteers from the community. We want to congratulate you personally and thank you very much for the work that you do in our community. But the White Rose Hall of Fame Awards, as a proud York native and graduate of William Penn Senior High School, I'm honored to present these awards to individuals within our community and of our community that have achieved surmountable excellence in their lives. Over the years, we have taken time out of our State of the City address to recognize a few of these fellow accomplished Bearcats and or other Yorkers. First this evening, as I call your name, if you would please come forward, we can present you with your award as well. First is Dr. Ron Jenkins. Dr. Jenkins, a York native and 1961 York High graduate, having won 2 Junior Olympic national diving titles in the early 1960s, he is considered one of the top diving coaches in the country. He serves or has served on the NCAA Swimming and Diving Committee, the National YMCA Swimming and Diving Committee, and a chairperson on the United States Diving Committee on Diversity. In 1995, Dr. Jenkins was named the NCAA Men's Diving Coach of the Year. He has held the title of Diving Officials Coordinator for the Diving World Cup and was appointed the Coordinator of Diving Officials at the 1996 Olympic Games held in Atlanta, Georgia. Dr. Jenkins, we are so very proud to call you a Bearcat, sir. Thank you for all that you have contributed to the community.
Oh, you saw the look. Mayor Bracey, honored guest, and other award recipients, thank you, and it's great to be here with you. I've always thought that with recognition comes responsibility. Responsibility to be the person that you all think I might be. So, thank you very much.
Next, Javon Matthews. Mr. Matthews, please join me, sir. A York native and a graduate of William Penn Senior High School as well. He played professionally on semi-pro football teams for several years. In 2015, Mr. Matthews and his partner began the York Generals football team to provide opportunities for young football players over 18 years of age. The York Generals have went on to win the 2016 season of the IFL League Championship and the SBSS National Championship. They now play in the WFF League, one of the best leagues in this area, if not the nation. And I love standing next to him.
I just want to thank everybody for believing in me, to be honest. I can't take all the credit for this. One of my best friends is really the reason why I pushed this hard and did what I did today. And I'm receiving this award today. I want to thank Jerome Thomas for being there for me and always supporting me. Sometimes it takes, someone that's a little older than you to believe in you and just stand by your side. And I appreciate everything you've done for me, bro. I really do. And my mom, my stepdad, everybody else that came here, I'm touched right now. I thank you, everybody.
And Mr. Harold Redding. Mr. Redding, we met a little while ago, a Vietnam War veteran, having served honorably in 1966 and 67. As a sergeant in the Army, he was motivated to advocate for a National Vietnam Veterans Day. And due to Mr. Redding's determination, he met with all of us. Legislation permanently designating March 29th as National Vietnam War Veterans Day has been signed into law by President Trump. The Vietnam War Veterans Recognition Act represents the first federal statute recognizing the bravery and sacrifice of veterans who served during the Vietnam War. This determination from this fellow Yorker is to be commended. Welcome home, Mr. Redding. Thank you very much for all that you do for all of us veterans, sir. I'm going to ask y'all to stand. He is a Vietnam War veteran, okay?
Thank you. To receive an award for something that you have done makes that accomplishment special. To receive an award for something you have done from someone that you have a tremendous amount of respect for makes that award very, very special to me. Thank you, Mayor Bracey. Thank you.
Congratulations to our White Rose Award recipients of the evening. I'm honored. Thank you. And again, congratulations to all the award recipients. Okay, I think that's it. Thank you all so very much again for honoring me being here this evening. Thank you to my cabinet, all the city employees, family, friends, everyone. Thank you, York. Have a good evening.